Huskies are coming off a weekend where they were swept at home for the first time this season, but they're looking to rebound out at Colorado College this weekend to close out the regular season. Welcome to the St. Cloud State Huskies Hockey Weekend Preview. I'm your host, Taylor Budge. Alongside me is Mick Hatten from the St. Cloud Times. Mick, not the weekend that the Huskies were looking for, obviously, but how do they just put this weekend behind them, realize that it happened, and move on to close out the regular season on a strong note?
Yeah, this is kind of the, at this point of the season, that's exactly what they have to do. They have to just, turn the page and just say, that wasn't our best weekend. Need to move on, and we've got things to focus on because there's a lot at stake here in this last weekend at Colorado.
Some of the little things to work on for the Huskies. The offense seemed to be struggling, and the power play definitely hasn't been clicking the last few games.
Right. Two power play goals in the last 7 games for St. Cloud State, and none of the seniors had a goal over the weekend. So those are 2 areas that you immediately look at and say, if they're going to do something on the road this weekend, those 2 things have to be a bit better if they're going to come away with a couple wins.
Something kind of foreign to us, talking about how the Huskies need to find points and contribute offense, something that definitely hasn't been a problem for them this season. But moving forward again to this weekend, a lot of points are on the line. Huskies can finish anywhere from 1st to 3rd in the standings. Really, anything is going to kind of happen in the last few games here.
Right. North Dakota, has wrapped up at least a share of the conference title. They play host to Western Michigan this weekend. St. Cloud State obviously at Colorado College, and then Nebraska Omaha is at Denver, and that's a fascinating series. Omaha's been struggling a little bit of late. Denver has just been on fire here in the second half of the season, so there's a lot at stake, like you're saying.
Taking a look now at Colorado College, definitely not a team that the Huskies should sleep on this year. Granted, they are last in the NCHC, but they do have 6 wins, and one of those wins is against the Huskies that happened just back in January here in St. Cloud.
Right, and Jacob Nahama, the goaltender for Colorado College, really had a great series against St. Cloud State. Kind of stood tall throughout that series and kind of established himself as the #1 goalie, I think, on their team. And he poses problems. He's a big goalie and plays a pretty stable game back there. St. Cloud also didn't do particularly well on the power play in that series. They were 1 for 9 on the power play. So again, we're back to special teams and how important they could be this weekend.
A little bit too on how their offense has been struggling lately, getting shut out last weekend as well. How do they kind of contribute some offense?
Yeah, they've got pretty good team speed. They're a young team. Sometimes with those young teams, I mean, you can get them a little bit frustrated, and if you get ahead of them, they start pressing a little bit. So St. Cloud is going to want to try and get ahead of them, try and get them a little bit frustrated, and maybe get them to press a little bit. No goals in the last couple of games for them, and they've lost their last 7 games. So this is a team that they need to get out on. Don't let them get any confidence going, and not play tight. Don't play tight this weekend. Go out there and play your game.
Definitely sets up an exciting weekend for sure. Now, puck drop between the Huskies and Tigers is set for 8:37 Central Time on Friday and 7:37 Central Time on Saturday. You can catch those games by tuning into NCHC.TV or listening on the radio to 99.9 More FM. Now, the Huskies will be back on home ice here at the Brooks Center for the first round of the NCHC playoffs, which take place next weekend. Tickets are still available for that series. You can purchase those by visiting SCSUtickets.com. That wraps up this week's edition of the St. Cloud State Huskies Hockey Weekend Preview. For Mick Hatten, I'm Taylor Budge, and we'll catch you next week for the NCHC Tournament Preview.